Here's exactly how Will Poulter got in the best shape of his life for his Marvel film and how you can copy his exact strategy. And the crazy part is nobody truly understands what made this transformation work. Everyone thinks it was restrictive diets, endless training, all the other stuff that you've seen in my previous videos. But none of them was the real reason that he made this transformation. In this video, I'm breaking down the exact step-by-step process that he used, the struggles he ran into, and the part of his plan that you can implement today, no matter how much time or how much money you have. So people started noticing his physique back in 2021 during doping. Overnight, it looked like he went from a normal actor to some kind of superhero. And yet, raised a few eyebrows to say the least. Everyone jumped straight to one conclusion: must be on the juice. But here's the part most people miss. His transformation didn't happen in 8 weeks. It was years in the making. Will didn't reinvent the wheel. He used the exact same structure every Hollywood actor uses when they have the kit off, when they're in the role. A slow bulk, then a sharp, controlled cut. During the bulk, he ate more than he wanted. During the cut, he ate less than he wanted, which is usually the case for anyone going through the exact same process. And in between, he had phases where he said he was sick of food. He couldn't even look at it. And then phases where he was so hungry, he could even eat his dining room table. That is the reality of aesthetic transformations. They're uncomfortable either way. Not all the time, but in a very, very frequent part of the whole entire process. The thing is, where most people go wrong within this process is they try and bulk far too fast. If you're new to lifting, you should only gain around 0.5% of your body weight per week. If you're more experienced, about 0.25%. More than that, you're not gaining muscle, you're just gaining fat. There is, of course, outliers with obviously crazy genetics, and obviously them figures there are kind of irrelevant. But for the majority of people going through this bulking, cutting process, that is the exact mistake that people make, which is the one that we need to try and avoid. Marvel actors never reveal their exact routine, but anyone who knows training can spot the blueprint instantly. You train like a bodybuilder, big compounds, heavy pressing, lots of rowing, and then tons of isolation for shoulders, biceps, triceps, and his delts. And if you look closely, his arms and shoulders grew faster than anything else, way faster. That tells you his program was built around what to be visible on screen and his weaker areas. Now, here's where things get interesting. Everyone keeps asking if you use steroids. And honestly, in my opinion, it's a fair question. I think it's always hard to say with actors when they are getting paid the big bucks. Most will do anything they can do to achieve the look needed for the role that you're going to be playing. Two things matter when you're trying to answer that: how fast someone has gained the muscle, how much body fat they've gained, and whether the final look looks naturally achievable or not. We'll have nearly 2 full years between projects to build size. For someone relatively new to structured training, 2 years of newbie gains can take you a long way. But then he said something in an interview that made people raise a few eyebrows. He said, "I wouldn't recommend anyone do what I did. Without the financial backing of a studio paying for your meals and training, it's unhealthy and unrealistic." And for me, I think a strange thing to say. Because his physique, while impressive, has seemed better. Like, it isn't some freaky, unattainable, like, Marvel mutation. I know lads who look better than that down the local JD gym who aren't following multi-million-dollar contracts. So comments like that, to me personally, sound like somebody's trying to hint at something instead of saying something directly. But here's the part that actually matters. Whether he used juice or not, it doesn't change the blueprint. You can copy 90% of what he did naturally. Progressive overload, so going in the gym every single week, making sure you're logging your numbers and you're beating them every single week, whether it's weight, whether it's reps, or it's just better execution of each individual exercise. A slow, controlled bulk, drip feeding your body more food when it needs it and only when it needs it to keep body fat down to a minimum and gain maximum amount of muscle. Then going into a smart structured dieting phase, just on that as well, you may need to do a short dieting phase to get your body in a lean, primed position for a lean bulk. If you've already got a lean physique or you're more like a skinny physique, then you can go straight to the bulk. But if you have a little bit of body fat to take off, it's important to strip that back off first before building up your calories and going into a calorie surplus. That alone, following that strategy, will change your physique more than any other secret that you think Hollywood might have for these actors. If you want something simple to start with straight away, a very structured, smart, easy to follow approach, 3 to 4 workouts a week. I would do push, pull, legs, split. If you are going to do that full session, I would add in an upper session, so you're hitting everything upper body twice per week. If you're training legs properly, once a week is more than enough. A lot of people will say, and this is where my philosophy comes into it a little bit more. A lot of people will say that you have to do your bigger list work first because you've got the most amount of energy. Whereas with me, sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. So I'll mix it. So you have your bigger compounds, you have your isolations. Your bigger compounds, your squats, bench, deadlifts, etc., etc. Your isolations are your leg extensions, your bicep curls, your flies, etc., etc. All right. So what I like to do, and again, I mix and match, and it's personal preference. But for me, when it comes down to getting that mind to muscle connection, so when you're wanting to feel the movement much, much more. So when you're obviously doing your squats, you want to feel the quads and your hamstrings contract a whole lot better. For me, sometimes that can be quite difficult with legs specifically, right? So I will do my isolations on leg day first. So I'll do my hamstrings and my quads first. So then I'm going into my leg press and my squats. Then movements feel so much smoother, and I feel like I'm getting so much more out of it because I've got a better mind to muscle connection because of the work that I've done beforehand. I follow that same structure with my back exercises. On my chest, I will always go for the bigger, heavier compounds first because naturally I feel like I've got a better chest and I feel like I've already got that mind to muscle connection. So what I would do with them strategies is just test a couple of different things and see which one you prefer. There's not really going to be that much difference in terms of progress. It is just personal preference. And again, you might be like me, you might do one strategy for a couple of obviously workouts, and then you might do obviously another strategy for maybe your legs or another alternative. And as I said earlier, if you need to take a little bit of body fat off, then go for a quick, short, aggressive mini cut just to strip off any remaining body fat you've got left, to prime your body, to put it in a very good position to do a very successful lean gaining phase. Because when you, for example, start a lean gaining phase from a very lean position, your body is much more susceptible to putting on muscle, right? If you start a lean, so-called bulk, when you still have quite a bit of body fat left, yes, you're going to gain a little bit of muscle, but you're also going to gain a lot more body fat. And obviously the aim is to build as much muscle as possible whilst keeping your body fat down to a minimum. In order to do that, you need to start from a very lean position. Because if you look forward to when your diet comes, if you've, for example, gained too much body fat, it's naturally going to make your diet longer, but it's also going to make it more restrictive because you've got to add more cardio or pull from more food to get that final look that you want come summer. Then when you come into the dieting phase, again, just make sure I would take off 200, 250 calories of what you're currently consuming at the end of your bulk. See how your body responds to that. See how your body responds to obviously a little bit more cardio as well. Then let's see, for example, you getting tighter week on week. Let's see, for example, if that scale weight obviously drops throughout that week. If it doesn't, you know you need to eat a little bit less food or you need to increase your output. Me personally, for my clients, I always like to go higher output if me or that individual has more time, because if you can diet on as many calories as possible, naturally, it's going to make sure that your gym sessions aren't taking a hit in terms of your weights, in terms of your reps and your overall energy, but also your strength. But it's also going to make it easier to stick to the deficit if naturally you have more food. Whereas if not, if you go the other way, and obviously you've bulked and you've gained quite a bit of body fat, naturally you're going to have to eat a lot less, which is going to impact your overall energy levels, both inside the gym and outside of the gym. And naturally your numbers will start declining. And because of that, you run the risk of eating into muscle tissue that you've just spent 16, 20 weeks of hard graft to build. To round up, if you were to take anything away from this video, just make sure that if you want a lean athletic look, so you want a good amount of muscle tissue on your frame, but you still want to see your abs, you still want a tight midsection, etc., you want to make sure that you're priming your body with a short, aggressive mini cut. You're then bulking for as long as you can. At the end of your bulk, your abs should still be slightly visible, okay? It's only after that point where they start to drop off completely that then it's time to obviously start your dieting phase. If you're still new to lifting, like obviously Will was, you can push that needle a little bit longer. And if you need to still gain a lot of muscle to put onto your frame and you're not happy with where you're at, you can get away with pushing that to another, let's say 20, 24, 28 weeks of a lean gain, but you may need to do a mini cut within that period of time just to increase your body's sensitivity to food, but it also strips off a little bit of body fat. It gives you a bit more leverage to then keep on pushing into the next couple of months, etc. So give this strategy a go for the next 12, 16 weeks. Like I said, if you need to do that mini cut in the beginning, may need to be a little bit longer, 20, 24 weeks. Let me know how you're getting on. If there's anything else, obviously, you want to see more of in these videos, then obviously let me know. I can break them down step by step as I have today. And if you want a free step-by-step training that's going to help you lose 8 to 10 kilos of body fat and build that back in lean muscle, hit the first link in my bio. There's going to be a free step-by-step guide that I'm going to send you one strategy per day for the next 30 days that's going to allow you to do that. And if you want a little more accountability to help you achieve all of that, I'm actually launching my 5th round of Recreate an 8, my group coaching program that launches on the 5th of January. It's 8 weeks. You're going to get training plans, diet plans, weekly accountability, weekly check-ins, a community of everybody on the same mission, all for the price of just £99 for the whole entire 8 weeks. It can be split up into 2 or 3 payments if needed. If you are interested, again, just hit the link in my bio. It says Recreate Sign Up. Or if you've got any other questions, just drop me a DM on Instagram at Josh Hetman, and I'll answer any of them questions you've got, just to give you as much clarity as possible when it comes to obviously joining, if that's something that you would be looking at. Okay. As always, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.